Thanks for watching my channel again. Today I'm going to talk about scribing. So I have been building this MG Strike Freedom Gundam, and I have already repainted everything, and now I'm doing the armor and trying to add some more detail. As you can see, I already added some detail to the leg. So what is scribing? Scribing is basically adding panel lines to your Gunpla to make it a little bit more detail. So if you can see, these are some of the lines that I made. This is the original one, and then I cut a hole here to expose the inner frame a little bit more. I add a little bit panel line here. I also cut out a little bit here, add a piece of power plate here, and then also cut out a piece here, and then make an indent here. And I also modify the band to show more, a little bit more on the thruster, because I have LED in there, so I want to cut it out a little bit so it can show the light from the side. So the original one is like this. So I cut a little bit more here, cut more on the side here, and then if you can see from the above, you can see that I also shape this piece like the V shape instead of the original V shape like this. Okay, so I'm going to talk about scribing today. A few tools that you will need for scribing. First of all, you will need a pencil to design your panel lines. So I usually use a 0.5 mm mechanical pencil because it's easier to use mechanical pencil instead of pencil. And what I normally do is use a pen, and then I use some power plates here. These are some of the power plate that I cut. So this is about 3 mm wide. And then you can see that I have some mark numbers here. What are these numbers? This is the angle that I make for this angle here, so I can easily measure the angle I want for my lines. So this is 30 degree, this is a 45 degree, and this is a 60 degree line. So I will show you how I use this power plate to draw my line later. And you will need a scriber. So this is the scriber that I'm using, the chisel. So I have different size chisel that I can swap it out easily. So normally I use 0.15 for HG or RG, and then 0.2 for my MG, and sometimes I also use 0.15 for my MG as well. So, and then for PG I use 0.2 or 0.3 for the regular line, and then for some wider line I use 0.5 mm. And I'll show you how I use those chisel later. And you will need a brush. So to clean out after you have do the scribing, there's a lot of debris inside the panel lines. You use a brush to brush it out. I use a nipper to cut the scribing tape. So these are the scribing tape I'm using. These are the display scribing tape. So you can see that they have some line built into the scribing tape. So each line is about 1 mm wide. So this is a 2 mm scribing tape. This is 3 mm, 4 and 5. Okay, these are great if you want to measure and make symmetrical design. And I also use this scribing tape that it came with my cheap chisel. But this is a really great scribing tape because it's really sticky. The only thing is it doesn't have the measuring, so I use it for some of the hard to stick area. This is not as good scribing tape in terms of the stickiness, so sometimes I use this if I want to stick the scribing tape to be very sticky. I use this one. Okay, and then I usually store this inside a Ziploc bag. You see that there's a lot of dust. It's going to sometimes it build up after a while. So I usually use a masking tape to just kind of clean it up once in a while. But I usually store it inside a Ziploc along with my masking tape. Okay. And I also use a divider or a compass to measure the distance to copy my design from one part to another, from left to right. So this is a divider. I used to have 2 of them. So one with a toothpick on one side and another one with a needle. So needle on one side, pencil on another, toothpick on one side, and then the pencil on another. So why do I need to have 2? The reason is because if you want to measure from point to point, it's easy to use a needle to measure the point to point. But if I want to measure from edge, right, it's much easier to use a toothpick to measure, because I can draw a parallel line along the edge easily with this with a toothpick. I'm going to show you how to do it later. Okay. And you will also need a this is what I use to correct my mistake. Sometimes you make a mistake when you do the scribing. Sometimes the mistake you want to completely remove it. It's not easy to just sand it off. So for example, this one I make a big mistake here. So what I did is I put a little bit of the this CA glue. This is a black CA glue, so that you can see that there's a black line here. After I apply the CA glue, after it is dry, I can just sand it off. And what you want is to have a line remain. That means that it is completely filled out with this CA glue. And once after you paint it with primer, you can check whether this fixes the problem completely. But this is a great CA glue. I highly recommend this one. Okay. That's about it. You also obviously you need some sanding stick. After you have finished your scribing, you have to sand the area so to make it smooth. So you need some sanding stick or sandpaper, sanding sponge. Okay, depends on the whether it's a curve, whether it's a flat surface. You will need different. You will need sanding stick or sanding sponge. Okay. All right. Let's talk about. Okay. All right. So first of all, let's start with a simple line using a scribing tape, and I'm going to use a flat plate to demonstrate how to do scribing, so that you can see clearly what I'm doing. First of all, you will have to use a scribing tape to do a straight line. I'm using a 3mm scribing tape here. So you take out a little piece of scribing tape and using a nipper, you can cut a piece of scribing tape. And you stick on the power plate. Okay. So usually I start with very light scribe first. How much force you want, let me demonstrate. So you can use a mechanical pencil. Take out maybe like about 1 cm and try to scribe on this line here without breaking it, see? So yeah, for less than 1 cm, try to just scribe on it, not scribe, try to draw a line on it without breaking the pencil, okay? If you apply too much force, you break your pencil, okay? So practice with about 1 cm and then just try to draw a line here. Okay, that's how much force you want to apply initially. Okay, so now let's start with using a scribing pen. So usually I will do I'll lean my scribing pen, the chisel, slightly on the lean on the tape. So I can use the tape as my guide to make a groove, okay? Just gently. So about 10 light scribe, you should be able to get a groove. And once you have a groove, you can do a 90 degree. Okay, so let me show you. So first you're doing like this. Okay, this is your groove. Okay, so doing it like this and then gradually change it to 90 degree, okay? After you have a groove, okay, change it to 90 degree, okay? Now I can do 90 degree. And from this angle, right? From this angle, I'm not doing it like this, okay? I'm doing it more like this. 45 degree to follow the groove instead of this, because if you are doing like something like this, it can go outside easily. But if you use a 45 degree, the chisel will follow the groove and continue to strike. Now if I use the 800 grit sandpaper, Okay, and then I usually use a toothbrush to brush all the debris out. Okay, now I can show you using a panel line to show you the line. Okay, so this is how you start your first line. So you can see that the line should be very smooth. So once you can master to do a 0.1 or 0.2 mm line, you can start trying, something a little bit thicker, like 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, okay? Okay, let's try to do a 0.5 line here. So for 0.5, make sure that you lean your scribing chisel sideways a little bit more, because if you are doing 90 degrees, you have a lot of friction at the tip, so it's very easy, you can easily go outside and make a mistake. Okay, so normally what I would do is I will start off like, so let's say I want to mark this starting line here, and then I want to mark this ending line here. Okay, then I will start swiping it sideways. Okay. Okay, you can see that there's a little bit imperfection here, so not completely straight. So I'm going to show you one way to actually scribe thicker line better than just goes directly using a thick line. Okay, now I will use a 0.3 line. Make sure you insert your chisel 45 degrees because you won't be able to do it immediately 90 degrees because this is a 0.3 line. So you have to do it 45 degrees so that the tip of the chisel insert into the groove. Then you gradually build up this 0.4 line. Again 45 degrees. When you first start with 45 degrees, you can see that there you will see two levels here. The first level is the 0.5 line making. The second level is the original 0.4 line. Once you don't see two levels, when it's become one level, that means you can turn it to 90 degrees. Now I can see that it is completely become one level. That means it is like a 45 degree angle 0.5 line. Now I can change it to 90 degree. Insert my chisel 90 degree and then flatten the bottom of it 90 degree 0.5 line. I should get it very smooth. .5 line here. Okay, so you can see the third line is much better using that method. So I hope you can try either way. I mean, if you can do it slowly, I think going straight to use a thick chisel line is okay. But if you want to do it easily, so I will highly recommend trying it. You know, increase the thickness of the chisel gradually to achieve a perfect, clean, thick panel line. Okay.